right, Roa?
This episode's topic is about Josh and anger, and as of late, he's been pretty tame. I don't recall him getting particularly angry at very much lately.
That's great news.
It is. He's kind of got that in check lately. He certainly has a history of anger.
Yes, he does. And I wonder if there's something that's changed that has made him less angry recently.
Well, of course, there's the idea that maybe he's just hitting that synthetic cannabis ultra hard, so he's completely mellowed out. Or maybe he has taken on new coping methods.
Like some Cobra Angel yoga.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, where he gets on the floor and pushes himself up, but he still has his cigarette in his mouth. I love that his brand yoga poses, Cobra brand yoga poses, still include him smoking during. It wouldn't be complete without.
I mean, that's how you achieve ultimate relaxation.
Oh, yeah. It's been quite a day today. I think the video just came out where he debuted his shaved head. And, man, he looks better. It is an oddly shaped head, though I would say it really takes a special kind of person to have, like, a good skull for being bald. It kind of like gets taller and pointier at the top, doesn't it?
It does. You can really see like those little like cobra side flaps on the side of his head, like, you know, if he wanted to grow those out.
Recently he was talking about in one of his recent videos that when he dies, he is really going to become a demon and hang out in hell with Lucifer. And I swear one of these days I'm gonna get an interview with him and just gently ask him questions. And I remember I was thinking, like, I want to ask him do you just know this in your heart that when you die you're gonna transform into a demon and hang out in hell? Or I want to like kind of steer him, because he will start lying if he is nudged in that direction. He'll lie on the spot for sure. I think that he would. I would then ask him, "Did you get a sign, or did you have something communicate with you?" And I'm pretty sure that would persuade him to start lying about a demon talking to him or something.
That would be amazing. I would love to hear that.
I need to rig that up. I think I would be able to get a good read on him.
When you think of demons, like there are various images that pop into your mind. What do you think he envisions himself as a demon? Just like the way he looks now, or do you think he's like this big muscular like red demon with his own?
Oh, you cut off.
Oh, sorry. Do you think that he's like a big muscular red demon that just still has like Josh's face on it?
I think that it would be the way he's always imagined himself to look, because there's this idea of how he imagines himself as this like 7 foot tall goth stud with long flowing hair, and he would definitely resemble a human, just a lot more handsome and scary. He'd have the giant demon wings and a huge dong, a colossal dong. And there would, I think he would have fangs like a cobra. He used to love putting in his fangs when he would get drunk. Just a really like typical fantasy demon, I imagine, with like a snake theme to it.
It's really interesting to me that he thinks this way about himself, like that he thinks he's going to go to hell and that he's going to become a demon and hang out with Lucifer. Because like if you watch a lot of his videos where he's like talking about, the political world or like things that are happening, he seems very against like, well, I mean, he goes back and forth, but like, he seems very like aligned towards not doing evil actions, like he doesn't want to like murder someone or like, there's a time when he's talking about, how rape is bad, which definitely is, but, like all of those things seem like they fall within like the demonic domain. So,
Yeah. It is conflicting. In previous videos, he's talked about how he only uses his magic for good and that he would rather use it to heal people unless someone crosses him, and then he will smite them with his cobra magic. But true evil would probably go against everything that he talks about. Like you mentioned, how murder's bad, rape is bad, hurting people isn't good, all that kind of stuff. I mean, really, when I think of Satan and hell and all of that lore, it is meant to be like pure evil, like really, really bad, and that's not what he's really all about.
no, not at all. But I mean, I guess I could kind of see, like, topic of the episode is anger. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, like, if he wanted to be a big angry demon, just stomping around with his dong, slapping around little imps or whatever down there.
If he could keep like a pen of all the people that have wronged him, I think he would probably torment them and laugh at them. I don't know if he would really cause them that much misery, but I think that he would like to get back at all the people that have wronged him as a demon.
What do you think his torture would entail?
I think he would definitely have like a fart chamber where all of his farts are like piped in into this one central, just like a chamber of farts, and they would be forced to smell his gases all day long. That would be one thing.
I think maybe like a cuisine, like, the only thing that they can eat are flaming hot chips and like fish spicy pizza.
Oh yeah, the fiery fish pizza. He would, in his Hell's Kitchen, he would be cooking up a nice pizza for him. He'd be making it, and he would be serving that up. I think he would probably eat the pizza while they're eating it and telling them how only real demons, real men, can eat this pizza. That would also produce more farts, by the way.
Oh yeah, toxic.
Fiery fish farts. It would be pretty petty. I just imagine him like slapping them with his giant dong, and just it being kind of wet and spongy and making like a really damp noise when it hits people.
Oh man, just like imagining just like a oh god, just like a pool noodle, just like a soggy pool noodle.
Yes, yes. That is precisely it. Oh, he would love it. I mean, he loves to create his own little world. I sincerely wish he could be prompted and asked, Josh, if you could like smite all your enemies and get back at them and you became this demon, like what are the ways you would punish them? I would be absolutely just fascinated to know, because he would come up with answers I would never ever think of. Oh. I remember in the past there was someone who kept punching him in his nuts when he was in high school, and I think there would be dedicated ball torture for that one person.
Just one snake for each ball, just constantly biting.
Oh, that would be pretty good. I remember he really did have some enemies. I want to say in his it was either gym class or wrestling class, and he did tell a story where he finally was pushed to his limit, and I think he hit someone with a chair.
I'm not wearing a cup, so this guy has to go, bam, cross shot me. And he sits there laughing with his buddies, ha 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 ha. At that point, I had enough of it, so I took the chair I was sitting on, and I across his face, chucked the chair to the side. He flew back about 4 feet, landed up on his back. I got on top of him and started punching him like I was in a UFC fight. And with each punch, I'm like, I am tired of everybody hitting me in the fucking nuts. It stops.
I just can't, man. Going back to the hell topic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I was thinking
I
about that
really
too.
just, I can only imagine like the little Nicky version of hell with Gothic King Cobra.
I haven't seen that movie, and a lot of people
Oh,
like it. What goes on in that version of Hell?
it's just like the most ridiculous Adam Sandler version of hell that you could imagine, where like to punish people they put like boobs on people's head, and then they make fun of them because they have to wear like a bra over their head boobs, and Harvey Keitel is the devil, and he's just like he's not like evil. He's kind of just like a nice dude, but like it's kind of like that like Dracula situation, Castlevania, where I think if I'm remembering this correctly, like Harvey Keitel was like fucked an angel, and that is what made Little Nicky.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So is there
so
meant to
like
be like a duality to him?
yeah, for sure. But just like ridiculous little creatures running around in hell, and like just all sorts of weird shit. And then like Hitler is there, and he's like in a French maid outfit, and they're like shoving pineapples up his.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I guess it's not quite ironic punishment, but it's pretty close, I guess.
Yeah, I just imagine okay, so God forbid, I mean, this day when Gothic King Cobra passes on to the next realm, but in the Judeo-Christian view of the world, where like he goes to the pearly gates to get judged, and they're like, well, honestly, you weren't that bad of a dude in real life, so you can come in here if you want. And he's just like, no, like, would it be cool if I just like went down and became a punishment demon? Like, I don't really want to get tortured down there. I just kind of want to like hang out.
Yeah. I mean, he would be much more excited about that for sure. He has very like violently opposed the idea of God, or as he calls it, "fuck your sky god," and yet he always talks about hell, which is in alignment with, I would say, Christian faith. I think not all other religions actually talk about hell the same way that he does. So it's weird that he rejects, the Christian God, but at the same time loves Lucifer and Satan, which is in the same like book.
He also uses the word angel in his vocabulary, like cobra angels.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's confusing because the Cobra demons are the men and Cobra angels are the girls, but they're very different things, angels and demons. They shouldn't be, rubbing elbows together.
No, for sure. Not.
I love that circle of hell in Dante's Inferno. There's one level that is just Josh.
He's just turning people into sex dolls and ripping them apart.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
It's
Maybe
just,
maybe after he's done with them, and he gets ashamed and rips them apart.
my dong is too big.
It's too big. I'm turning it inside out. No. Ugh. there's always been a relationship that he has with objects, inanimate objects. He has a history of getting really, really mad at them. And I wanted to list off the different things and maybe like categorize it into tiers of which objects have made him the angriest.
Okay.
Are there any things that you can think of off the bat?
All right. I remember specifically one time he got really angry at one of his guitars,
Yes.
and I think he smashed it up.
Yes.
Or at least he tried to.
No, he ruined one of his guitars.
Okay.
That's a really good example of his past anger. I can't imagine him doing something so destructive now, which is crazy.
I think like on the lower tier of anger, his cigarette roller
Yes.
pissed him off a lot one time.
Yes, it did. I was thinking of that as well, where he's trying desperately to roll one, and he kept saying, like, roll the cigarette, please, like over and over again, and he was furious.
And I mean, of course, there's the sex doll.
Yes.
That was off camera, but
It's a classic example. Comes up time and time again. There's the Pam bottle. He once propped up his camera against a Pam bottle when he was doing a cooking video, and the whole thing fell down. And that became like his number one enemy. He was so mad at the Pam bottle. Yeah.
The things he gets in the mail from his fans sometimes.
Yes.
I've seen a few of those where he's gotten very angry and gone to great lengths to destroy these things that have been given to him.
There was a bite-sized Cobra video where he received a whammy bar, and he really didn't want to get it. It wasn't compatible with his guitar, so he made it a point to throw it out like 5 times.
Oh yeah, he keeps picking it up out of the trash can and just throwing it back in it.
He'd like pick it up, examine it, and be like, "No, this isn't gonna fit." Throw it out, and then later on, he'd pick it up like, "No, this is trash," and throw it in the bin again. He hates bald caps being sent to him, which is ironic because now he is completely bald.
There's the Warlord penis shirt,
Yes, he was really mad at that.
and then I think one time somebody sent him a douche.
Yes, the anal douche. He needed to do some research on that one to figure out what the hell he was looking at, and I think he was just straight up disgusted by it and angry. He does not like being interrupted during his videos. He gets really, really mad at that. He's received telemarketer calls during cooking videos, and because he refuses to edit any of his videos, it forces him to restart completely.
Oh, cool. What the fuck is this nasty shit?
The new era of his channel began because he was having a really hard time uploading to YouTube, so he deleted all of his old videos.
Oh yeah, okay.
And like his, kind of welcome to my channel, here's my first video, was him like red in the face because he had retried it like 3 or 4 times and absolutely furious. And it was probably some like small thing, some computer issue, probably need to reboot or something. But his answer was to completely decimate his channel, which included some of his most successful videos. He had ones that Reddit had found, not even like the subreddit for him, but just like cringe subreddits. They would reference his videos, and he would get like, I want to say one of them had like 200,000 views of him getting ready for a Halloween party wearing a jacket and makeup and stuff. And that could have brought him a lot of money and boosted his channel. But as soon as you kill videos like that, your rankings and your ability to be found in YouTube drops dramatically.
Right.
I was really mad at him. Like, I remember writing in a comment, like, Josh, I'm mad at you. Why did you delete all your videos? I loved some of these.
I remember the time that he he punched his computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like he had just come back from Thanksgiving. His family had forced him to go on vacation with him during Thanksgiving, and then um, he wasn't able to like. God, he like cracked the screen because he wasn't able to turn off his alarm or something.
Of his computer?
I think so.
Oh,
We'll have to look that one up. But
yes. That'll take some research. That's
um,
brutal.
and then the other one I just remembered was somebody sent him a fleshlight once, and he destroyed that on.
I think it was a Tenga tube thing,
Yeah.
and I remember he could have honestly been like, "Hey, check out this cross section," like he does with one of his burgers, because he cut it apart and like showed the insides of it.
Oh,
But I mean, it's it's not even like that shameful of an apparatus to have. I know those Tengas, pardon me, are really popular with all kinds of Japanese people. It's just a masturbation aid. It's not like a full-blown sex doll.
can I read this small paragraph from the King Cobra wiki?
Yes.
All right. The Cobra fan base comes together to send Josh an assortment of gifts in hopes of encouraging him in times of need. Upon receiving a pocket pussy, Josh becomes irritated and destroys the item on camera after already having used it, claiming that he is asexual once again.
Oh,
Just hours afterwards, Josh deletes the aforementioned video and claims to have seen the error of his ways. He attempts to repair the pocket pussy and conjures a thunderstorm in Casper in honor of the fan who sent him the package.
you know, post post whatever, after he explodes everywhere, gallons of demon semen, he seems to get really mad or like cranky afterward. He really changes a lot after he's done masturbating.
Yeah, it's just that post masturbation guilt, I guess, that he feels. I don't understand. I don't, or maybe it manifests in like post masturbation anger.
Something like that. The dopamine rush is over. He's left unfulfilled again. He's empty, and then absolutely he has a lot of shame that turns into anger, which really, based off of that little entry, he just has to wait it out. He tends to regret a lot of his destructive behaviors post. It feels really weird talking about him jerking it and all that, but once he's done, he just needs to settle down and maybe do something constructive for a little bit.
I was thinking, sorry, back to the torture room topic, just real
Yes.
quick. I imagine that once Josh ascends into his full demon powers, his little puppet would also
Oh,
come to life.
Sean.
Yeah, and I assume that puppet would like also torture people.
Oh,
Like
Sean. Man, I love Sean.
he was like Slappy from Goosebumps.
Yes. Well, he looks exactly like him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He just has goth makeup on. Like, I think he painted eyeliner on Sean.
He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, yeah, he loves that doll. Sean is, he is like an outlet for a lot of Josh's misery and a lot of the truth and what he really knows about himself comes out through Sean. Uh, Josh will, delude everyone and himself, and then Sean will say some really harsh truths and just completely make fun of him. It's a very strange relationship that they have. It's kind of like, during court proceedings where you have a child and instead of asking them something directly that is unpleasant to recall, they whip out the doll and they're like, hey, show me on the doll where they touched you. That's kind of what Sean is for Josh.
Oh my god.
It's a lot
Yeah,
like
just
that.
yeah, it's just his the real self-reflection comes out through the doll.
Because it's not Josh, it's the doll saying these things, so it's okay. But
Man.
yeah, Sean would. I just imagine him resting, like, because Josh would probably be gigantic in his demon form. Sean would just be like sitting on his shoulder or something and look tiny in comparison at this point. It's just like crack jokes constantly or something. Like,
Yeah, that would be the torture. Is like you just have to sit there and listen to his comedy show for an hour.
or just like the fart chamber. He'd be like, "Hey, it's a gas." Ha ha ha. And that little laugh that he has.
I'd imagine that Josh's voice would get deeper since he's bigger, but Sean's voice would stay exactly the same as it is right now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the voice he was given. Yeah, Sean, I don't know if he would necessarily ascend. He would just come along for the ride. They're inseparable. Probably be like, God, it's really morbid imagining like Josh's funeral, but I imagine him being tucked in with Josh in his coffin, sent
Or
to the
just like
afterlife.
he's got his own little sidecar coffin.
Yeah, it would actually be attached like like a literal like motorcycle sidecar.
Yeah.
They get lowered in at the same time.
Oh man, I wish he had a sidecar for his beach cruiser just for Sean.
Oh, that would be amazing. Get him his own weird goggles to wear.
And a helmet.
Yes, bright green helmet to protect his noggin. Oh, that beach cruiser, man. He has gotten really mad at that thing. In hindsight, I remember during the documentary, he's riding around on his bike, and it keeps making this terrible noise that he refuses to address until finally some bit like snaps off, and he stomps on it and spits on it because he's furious at it.
Was it an important piece of the bike?
It just looked like some weird rod. I have no idea what it was for.
Oh man.
Yep. Yeah, he got real mad at that thing. I'd say a real big source of his anger is when he's having nicotine withdrawals. He'll call it a nicotine fit. And that will make him the most angry by far, I think. Have you
Yeah.
have you seen a video where he talks about his nicotine fits?
I haven't, but like I can see how that makes sense.
Because the way he smokes, and I think a lot of his abuse of like alcohol and drugs is because I think his natural state now is that he's just very irritable and depressed, and he's constantly chasing dopamine or serotonin or what have you. And now, with how much he smokes and all that, without it, he goes to this really, really low state of irritation and what have you. Because he's abused like coffee to feel good, alcohol. He'll go crazy with alcohol, I think, just to feel good. I want to say his natural serotonin levels are very, very low, just historically.
I
But,
I feel like he could benefit from some sort of fight club.
wow. Yeah. Get
Or
just,
like amateur wrestling, like those backyard wrestlings, just like slamming dudes through tables
yeah.
or getting slammed through tables. I don't know.
I think he would really benefit from that. He really does enjoy getting his anger out through physical means.
It's not often. Like I don't see him direct his anger towards other people, like to their faces, very often, but it has happened.
Yes, he there's a video that Bite Size posted where I believe the video is called The Intimidating Wizard. And one of his worst person-to-person encounters was with, I think it was Scotty's sister, name, I want to say Carolyn?
That sounds right.
Yeah, where he talked about how he was glad that she had miscarried or something.
Oh, Jesus.
And he also talked about how he was really proud of himself for not stabbing her with his knife.
I had this on me when Carolyn was talking mad shit. Do you know how easy and satisfying it would have been just to pull this out and start stabbing? But I restrained myself from stabbing and slicing. I did very good at restraining myself. I'm very proud of myself.
This was a very violent stage in his life. It was to the point where shortly afterward, Clint had called him and presumably like yelled at him and lectured him. And then Josh made a video afterward where he looked pretty remorseful, or at least was putting on a good show. And he talked about how he was sorry for what he had said and what he was thinking of doing.
After he goes through his fit of anger, it seems like he always comes back, like, after that rush of adrenaline or whatever courses through him. He seems to realize that what he has done or said is wrong and tries to make amends for it.
Yeah. It's interesting. He's not a complete, like, sociopath. He does have empathy. I think with all of his bottled up anger and frustrations, he gets into a moment where he kind of, like, forgets himself, and all he can do is be angry. But he does have a lot of remorse when it's over. Whenever he is really angry, he does talk about transforming. He has talked about how his eyes will go jet black when he's really angry, and then it's visible. And he talks about how his demon wings will come out in like shadows on the street sometimes. But it really, it is like an anger transformation, like some Dragon Ball thing.
When, so I was, in preparation for this, I was watching a bunch of his videos where he's gotten really angry, when he's been ranting about, things that are happening in the world or whatever. And like the way he rants and the way he connects ideas together about things really reminds me of when Alex Jones gets really angry about something.
The real King Cobra with a K. He doesn't seem to get Cobra that mad. He did in the beginning, but lately he doesn't make Cobra very angry anymore, I don't think.
I didn't even know that was an ongoing issue. I thought that was all over.
Oh, the fake Cobra?
Yeah.
Or the real one?
Right.
That guy is dedicated.
I'm proud of him. I mean, it's a good. It's a hard thing to keep that going for too long.
Do you think he would torture the fake Cobra in hell?
I don't know. I could see it going both ways, Like I could see there being some sort of amends where, he enlists him into his team of torturers.
Oh.
Or it could go the other way, and yeah, he could, Do you think the real Cobra is going to shave his head?
Oh, he'll probably just start wearing a bald cap. Yeah, easy as that. But because he has a lot of hair, that guy, and his teeth are impeccable. He has very, very white teeth. I noticed that recently. But he did like put a curse on him a good while ago. In the very beginning, when the real Cobra came out, he did make Josh very angry, to the point that he did like curse him.
I was thinking, in addition to having Sean on his shoulder in Cobra Hell, he'd probably also have like an entourage of succubuses or succubi.
Oh yeah, yeah. They would all probably look more or less like Danny Devine, that kind of gothic porn star that he loves.
Just all carrying whips.
Oh, yep. All that gear. I mean, the goth women that he loves and that he posts, they're so made up and probably photoshopped, they don't look that far off from sex dolls.
I'm like, man, have you ever seen the Heavy Metal movie? A lot of the imagery from that movie
Oh yeah.
is kind of how Josh sees himself in the world.
Oh. Let's talk about the self-abuse that he'll do when he's been really angry.
Like the slapping.
Yes, he likes to slap himself. He will. He choked himself in one video. It's a meltdown video where he said deep breath, and it sounded like Smeagol talking. Deep breath. He will. In the past, he used to starve himself as a punishment. He wouldn't allow himself to eat. Do you recall those videos?
I don't remember that.
Oh man, he went through a spell where, because he's so clumsy, it could be something as minor as dropping something or running into something. He had a great trend where he would drop pizzas coming home, and that would make him furious. And as a result, he would deny himself food. And this went on for a while, where he would abstain from eating as punishment. And while this was going on, people would offer him pizzas to be sent to him to like tempt him into eating. But
I wonder if he knows about the new Domino's carry-out insurance.
is that real?
Where, if you drop your pizza at the little place.
Because I saw a commercial for that recently, but it was muted. I was out somewhere, and I was like, that must be a joke, because it's just a really bizarre policy to have. Dropping
They probably
your
just
pizza.
don't want people starving themselves in punishment.
They're worried about Josh.
He's their top customer.
He is. He's dropped a lot of food in his time, and that really, really makes him furious. He hates that.
God damn it! God damn it!
He hates dropping things, period.
There's the time where he threatened to stab himself in the stomach with a sword.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not sure that was out of anger. It might have been out of depression.
Yeah, it was. That was him being very depressed. The reason for that was because I think he had gotten catfished yet again, and that really sent him into a downward spiral. And I do remember he like drank the last bit of a bottle of schnapps and threw it real hard. But otherwise, he was just down in the dumps.
He gets very angry when he's doing a Facebook Live video and there's drama going on in his chat room.
Yes. Yes, he hates that.
And people have to fucking bring drama onto my Facebook! I'm tired of it!
Scotty, your baby's here to see you.
I haven't continued Facebook Live for just a bit longer.
Hey Scott, I have your daughter. You want to see her?
No, that's completely unsafe to take a child to. That place is caked in just old cancer residue.
and probably just crusty, dry semen.
All over the place. I'm surprised that carpet isn't pregnant by now.
Oh Lord,
It's that is a really, really dirty carpet.
sprouting up little Josh babies.
Like think of like Groot, the little baby Groot coming out of some like dirt pile. What is Josh?
If Josh had a little Groot baby, like where he could only say one word, what do you think it would?
Oh, I mean,
Cobra.
there's the that's what's up, and
Yeah, okay, that's it. That's
Yerg.
got to be it. I guess the last thing I can really think about that he really got angry about in the past was his parents, like specifically his mom. I remember he has that whole song. I think it's "Fuck You, Laura," on one of his.
Yeah, it's like "fuck you, Laura" or "my mom, Laura," something like that.
Oh, my mom lore.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm reading the transcription from the Reddit thread of my mom Laura.
Oh yeah. So
You called the cops on my dad.
yes, I remember that part.
I can think of 10 million ways of how to murder you and how I'd enjoy it so sadistically, but I don't want to throw my life away for a fucked up whore like you.
Ooh.
And if you try to contact me when I'm making it big time in Hollywood as a big time famous musician, I'm going to tell you to hit the door and get rid like Satan. Because if you really wanted to know me, you would have come see me before I was making it.
Wow. So this was really early in his songwriting, where I want to say his delusion was at its strongest.
Yeah, you're talking about his career aspiration for becoming
Yes. The idea that he was going to one make it big on YouTube, and he kept talking about that like it was something that was imminent in his future, and then two, he was going to be a rock star making tons of money.
I remember he really wanted that. He like wanted to drive around a hearse or something.
Oh yeah, he wanted a hearse really bad. And if not that, he talked about some, I think it was a 52 Studebaker or something. That's where the 52 came from in his old handle, Gothic King Cobra 52. Just some old car that he would never be able to maintain.
Yeah, and I think about that, and I think about like, him having this old car that is constantly breaking down, and just him taking a sledgehammer to it or something. That's
Yeah. Everything that wrongs him or disobeys him and breaks down or doesn't work, eventually he just destroys it. And I'm sure that would have been the fate of his car if he had one, especially an old jalopy.
also the thought of him driving is a little scary.
Um, what's like the total victim count of things that he has destroyed in anger?
Let's see. Okay, so there's the guitar,
Yep. His cell
both
phone.
sex dolls,
Both sex dolls. Yep.
his cell phone, his computer, um, the pocket pussy.
Yep. He destroyed that.
Um,
He only has so much to break to begin with when I think about it.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm honestly surprised that there aren't like holes in the walls.
Talking about his gifts, there was one time where he received a pot leaf fedora and it wouldn't fit his head, and that made him very angry, and he tried to stretch it out in his vice grip and it just made a huge mess. He has gotten angry at his stove once when he nearly started a massive fire cooking French fries.
he just, he just poured the frozen potatoes into the hot oil, right?
Yes, he started doing like a few at a time, and it was going okay. And he said, "Oh, fuck it." And he dumped the whole thing in there. And I remember in the middle of the blaze, he just goes, "Stop." And, I mean, he was understandably angry because amazingly his fire alarm wasn't going off, but it was a big fire that was starting and it was producing tons of smoke.
Oh man, that's something he got really mad about too. Is there's like a point in time where people kept bothering him about his smoke alarm beep, and it just is like this ongoing thing where he just keeps getting angry about.
And I stood next to my smoke detector and I didn't hear it beep once. I'm like, maybe it's not the smoke detector. Maybe people are just hearing shit. Maybe you people are just hearing shit. Maybe you're just hearing things.
It raised so many questions because it was audibly going off. He couldn't hear it. And then, yeah, every time they mentioned it was going off, it infuriated him. It's probably like stone cold dead by this point, that fire alarm.
Yeah, for sure. That thing is not functional.
No. Oh, that was so good.
Um, he got like uh, like a religious pamphlet or something in the mail one time,
Oh yeah.
and he he like he got very angry about this, and he like ended up like doxing himself basically. Like he like because he's like ranting about it, and he's like showing like that's I think that's how people found his address.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He does get really mad at being approached by religious people, especially if they're talking about Christianity. Fuck your sky god, etc.
A lot of those good old videos are just I think they're gone now.
There's a lot of lost content, which was due to a fit of anger. It was his own doing.
I think really that's the top tier ranked worst one is because that affected everyone, not just him. You know,
Yeah,
he's breaking his guitar and shit. That's fine, but like he really broke our hearts with that.
he did. I mean, so much was destroyed when he did that, and again, he really hurt himself because he had superb views for some of those videos and had the attention of like outside entities that, I mean, they would have been watching him for probably the same reasons we watch him, but all those views can add up and it would have really benefited him in terms of like monetization.
Is his channel monetized?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think he's also gets angry about people accusing him of putting his hair in the wands that he sells.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's wood shavings. Yeah, because you're besmirching his product. How dare you? What do you
Okay.
think will happen in the future? Do you think that Josh will get angry again, or is he actually mellowing out now?
Well, I honestly never thought he was going to shave his head.
Yeah,
So, but I don't know, man. Like, I think that anger is just a core part of his being. I think, maybe we'll see him get less angry. I mean, I think he'll still have outbursts, but maybe not as bad.
I think so. And I'm surprised this hasn't come up yet, but something that always tends to fuel his anger is when he hasn't been with a woman in a long time. That makes him very angry.
Yeah.
And it seems that lately that doesn't make him as mad. He still counts the months since the last time he had sex, but he doesn't reference that as a reason for him being really angry.
Yeah. I don't know. Like you said, like a lot of the reasons he gets angry is because, like something isn't working out for him or like he can't play something on guitar. But like I haven't even seen him play guitar that much as of late.
Back in the day, his old videos, it would be his closer. He would always end the video with him playing guitar, and he never does that now.
Yeah. He's really come a long way in terms of the kind of content he's produced.
Yeah. Do you think part of him mellowing out is that he has finally like kind of become complacent with just existing instead of trying to be this like rock star, perfect, handsome being?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good theory. I was just yeah, just you just settling. Is that what you're basically?
Yeah, yeah, he's settling.
Yeah, I think so. I think that could play a big role in it. I think that could really make him more comfortable in his day-to-day life. But it would be very interesting to hear what he thinks he has in store in the future.
I, you know, in lieu of making it big on YouTube and touring with his band, I think now what keeps him going is his ascension to becoming like a demon and his magical powers.
Yeah, and I hope that stays. I hope
Oh yeah.
he continues to cast his spells and summon thunderstorms and stuff like that.
I mean, I think as he gets older and his life kind of becomes more like depressing and hollow, he will look to that kind of superstition even more so. But as for Josh, yeah, I think he will continue to mellow out unless things really just change dramatically. He could, if he has, some kind of highs and lows, mental illness, he could go through long periods of feeling good and then go through like a span of time where he does become incredibly irritable. I think it all depends on the people in his life that irritate him. He may not have a lot of entities in his life that bother him right now. He just kind of has his own little world.
Yeah, for sure. He's very easily influenced by other people's actions.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he's going through a period of peace right now.
Yeah. Kind of, get comfortable with himself. Coming to terms with his baldness might be a really good thing for him. Yeah.
But I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks better than what he had going on before.
Oh, yeah. Well, the lie that he was living of his, comb overs and wearing a bandana constantly, and, it probably caused him some distress of trying to grow it back with all the methods he was trying, mayo, onions, and having to wear a bandana 24/7 was probably irritating. Just even looking at it would bother me of like, man, my hair is like piecey and stringy. This really sucks.
I do worry though about his scalp health. I know when you shave your head like that, there are certain things you have to do to protect your exposed scalp.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, like hopefully he'll keep wearing a bandana when he goes outside so his head won't get like sunburned or cracked or anything.
I mean, there's that. I started thinking about his tools for grooming may not be very clean, so he could get like infected ingrown hairs possibly,
Oh yeah.
depending on what he uses. Like I imagine the big one would be if he tried to use like an old disgusting razor that'd probably been all over his
God.
balls and just started using that on his head, he could probably get a gnarly infection.
Oh man.
I want to see some scalp cysts and zits.
There's the last room, the last torture room. It's just people being forced to shave with his crusty ball sack.
Not a single hair may be left. Got to be completely hairless. My balls are as bald as my head.